What's up, everybody? Steve here. If you don't know and you haven't been a viewer of this channel before, I do live in Southwest Florida. I'm a real estate broker out here, so I personally can see the amount of people moving to the state of Florida. We're mid-January 2022 right now, and roughly it's estimated about 1,000 people a day are moving to the state of Florida. And I'm going to go over this article real quick with you guys. I'll put a link in the description as well. It goes on to say Americans are moving to the Sunbelt States. Both U-Haul and United Van Lines listed Florida as the top destination state. NAR, which is National Association of Realtors, chief economist credits affordability, job creation, and lower taxes for the moves. Job-rich, low-tax states such as those in the Sunbelt are attracting many Americans as housing prices rise. Online real estate marketplace Zillow, moving rental company U-Haul both cited Florida and Texas as hot relocation destinations in separate reports, while United Van Lines listed Florida and South Carolina among the top states for inbound migration. And it says, affordability, job creation, lower taxes. I think that there's more to that as well. I'm watching a lot of other YouTube videos on different local news channels in certain areas in California, the state of Washington, some other areas where they're allowing, if you defund the police and you're really disincentivizing police officers from doing their job and instead hiring social workers to basically do the job as a police officer, you're not doing much in terms of crime. When you're not locking up people for going and stealing and smashing windows of small businesses, and you're not locking up those individuals, people are getting sick and tired of that. When you're allowing encampments to be in your front yard and you're trying to walk your kid to school and there's needles all over the ground, people are getting sick and tired of that. So there's a lot of things that are happening in certain states and certain cities that I think people are just getting frustrated, and that's why they're getting the hell out of certain states, and ultimately a lot of people are coming to Florida. It goes on to say Sunbelt states are more affordable and generally have a lower tax burden and more job creation. The state of Florida, we have zero state income taxes. A large part of the pandemic migration will continue to be from states that had the strictest pandemic policies toward those which were more relaxed. This is another thing too, is when you're closing down small businesses, and small businesses employ a ton of people. They employ more than the larger corporations combined. And when you're taking those small businesses and putting them out of business, especially like restaurants, it's impossible for them to survive. So, when you're putting these strict restrictions, and I'm not saying one way or the other with the pandemic in terms of what your opinions are, but I can tell you it has destroyed economies. And Ron DeSantis, I think, has done an excellent job at keeping Americans safe in the state of Florida, but also allowing businesses to continue to be in business. And I think more and more people, we have a recent client that's closing down close to a half dozen businesses up in the Midwest, and he's not just closing down, he's selling those businesses, and he's taking those funds and coming to the state of Florida to start new businesses. We have another client that's closing down selling their one large business up in the Northeast, and they're coming to Florida, and they're going to set up another company down here. So it is happening, and the states that are very strict regarding the pandemic, they're losing good people, they're losing businesses, and they're losing jobs. Those states which took a more hands-off policy approaches to address the spread of COVID now have economies growing faster than those which locked down repeatedly. Interestingly enough, I'm in Southwest Florida, and our season here is primarily January, February, March, into April as well. And it's freezing up north, so a lot of people come down during those months, and it's interesting to see when I go into Publix or other grocery stores, or even go out to restaurants, how many people are wearing masks. And there's a huge uptick, and you can quickly realize that majority of the people that are wearing masks are from up north. And again, it's completely your call and your opinion on if you think that they're effective or not effective. And that's not the reason for this video in any sense, but it's interesting to see the population and how they are. And then a lot of people, you know, I have friends that come down from the Midwest and the Northeast, and they're the same way. But once they're down here, they're asking, they're like, you know, so we don't need to put on a mask in order to walk into a restaurant and then sit down and take the mask off, which personally I don't understand that entire mentality where you got to walk into a restaurant with a mask, but when you sit down, take the mask off and, you know, your germs mysteriously disappear. But I think when people do get used to the freedoms of not having to wear the masks and the mandates and everything else, people see that, and ultimately they want to have their freedom back. And one last part of this article, which I think is extremely important, it says, when people move, they tell their friends and family, some of whom follow. When companies move, they bring employees and families with them and motivate other companies to do the same. And again, being a local real estate broker here in Southwest Florida, we're seeing it. You know, I have an office of close to 60 agents. I talk to them on a regular basis, asking them, you know, who their clients are, where they're coming from, who's buying what. And this is confirming everything that this article is saying. You know, ultimately, you know, it's all politics. And I think the last point I want to make in terms of politics is, unfortunately, you know, I think we all are sick and tired of politics, but politics has a big role in our micro economies, in our micro lives. So, you know, ultimately right now there's a big wave of people quitting their jobs, and I think a lot of people are going to start to realize too that, you know, they're starting fresh with a new job somewhere else or taking some time off. But I think people are going to actually start to look outside of their area and move to different states, different locations that are going to treat them better. Anyway, I appreciate every subscriber on this channel. Thanks a lot for being here. I'll see you guys on the next one.